who are here, their directors or by their department, and we'll all introduce ourselves. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, let me get a pen out of my watch.
Thank you.
I need my pen.
Excuse me, Madam Chair, my pen is broken.
Yeah.
Spilling across the
I
table.
got it. Let me get me.
Alder Vedette. Mr. Hayes.
I'm assuming
assistant.
It was on the thing.
I'll take it. Thank you, sir.
You ready to go? Rachel, I gotta wear contacts. You're with my. It's the only place.
Good evening, City of New Haven, meeting agenda. Joint Community Development Tax Abatement, Tuesday, June 25th, 2024, 7 p.m. at the Board of Alders Chamber. The Joint Committee the Joint Committee Development and Tax Abatement Committee will meet in person at 7 p.m. again Tuesday, June 25th in the Board of Alders Chambers located at 165 Church Street, second floor, to hear and act upon the following. LM-2024-0379, order of the Board of Alders of the City of New Haven authorizing the City of New Haven to enter into a cooperation agreement with the Housing Authority of the City of New Haven and Glendower Group, Inc. and Westville Manor, RAD 1 LLC and Westville Manor, RAD 2 LLC with respect to the redevelopment of Westville Manor, including a tax abatement pursuant to Section S 28-4 of the New Haven Code of Ordinances. This item is on file and available for public inspection in the Office of Legislative Services, 165 Church Street, New Haven, per order Honorable Carmen Rodriguez and Honorable Jose Crespo, co-chair, attest Honorable Michael Smart, City Clerk. If you need any accessibility-related accommodations, please contact 203-946-7651 or 203-946-8582. In accordance with the City of New Haven COVID-19 guidelines, masks are now optional. Public may send comments to public testimony at newhavenct.gov. From my right, if my colleagues can introduce themselves, thank you.
Frank Redenti, Ward 15, Community Development Committee.
Troy Street, Ward 21.
Brittany Mayberry, Night Black, Ward 20.
Amy Marcus, Ward 26.
Carmen Rodriguez, Ward 6.
Alder Jose Crespo, Ward 16, co-chair.
Frank Douglas, Ward 2, co-chair of both committees, tax abatement and community development.
Brian Wingate, Ward 29, community development and tax abatement, Beaver Hills.
At this time, I would ask that the presenters join us at the table, please.
Good evening. If you can state your name and address for the record, please.
Edward LeChance, representing the Glendower Group, 360 Orange Street, New Haven.
Kathy Schroeder, Deputy Director, LCI, 170 Morgan Road, East Haven, Connecticut.
Yadira Vargas, representing the Glendower Group, Connecticut.
Hello, and I have some handouts. I have a package for everybody. There's 3, there's 5. And as you are probably aware from reading this agenda item, we are, the Housing Authority through the Glendower Group is now ready to proceed, and we have everything set to move forward with the redevelopment of Westville Manor. So Westville Manor was 150 unit development that was really not that old. It's only from the 1980s. You would think it was a lot older looking at it. It was not designed well. The moisture issues really impacted the project. And does everybody have a package? Yep. How could I forget? Sure. And it was designed in a way that's not very modern, like there's not a lot of defensible spaces in the backyard. It's just really poorly designed. So we replaced 62 units of it already at Rockview 2, because we have to replace all the units under the hub requirements. So what we're doing now is replacing 109 units. We're building 109 units on site. We're going to demolish the entire site. All of the infrastructure comes up. We're going to construct 109 units. 87 of those will be what we call RAD replacement units. They'll be the affordable units. That basically like a project-based voucher. That's how we do all of our developments, Mill River, Eastview, anything you can think of through RAD redevelopment, RAD vouchers. And we're also going to add 22 units of market rate housing. There's such a demand for everything. We like to include 20% market rate in all the developments we do. It's just a good mix. And those market rate units are open to anybody, so we actually see a lot of voucher people moving into them. I mean, it's a tough market, right? And the city is in support of this development. What I included is a couple site plans to show what it's going to look like. The city's going to be providing $4 million in infrastructure, because we are, in the last sheet, the large one has a site plan that shows the new road, but really will be an entirely new Westville Manor. We haven't thought of a new name for it yet, so we're open for suggestions. But those streets will be turned over to the city, so they're going to become city streets, the main ones that go through. You laid it out with the one main building has a lot of one-bedroom units, and ADA units and community space in our offices. The townhouses are all a mix of 2, 3, and 4 bedroom units. It's going to be very high energy efficiency. We're looking at Hearst Platinum at a minimum. We're continuing to explore more alternatives. We're looking potentially into geothermal, definitely having a lot of solar to pay for all our common area and site lighting. The units will be truly modern. There won't be a difference between the affordable and the market rate units. They're all going to have front and back doors. High efficiency is going to be fully electrified, no gas, no other utilities on site. All units will be air conditioned. And we'll have, there's a central park that you can see, but there's also a smaller, so here's the central park, also a smaller play area with a nice tot lot. Now, I won't call it a tot lot, a smaller playground. If you've seen what we've done in Mill River and Rockview 2, those are really top-notch playscapes and get used a lot. We're going to build one at Eastview Terrace as well as we rehabilitate that development now. We're going to redevelop in 2 phases, and that's where I included this map just to let you know it's too big to do all at once. So the red is going to be the first phase. Those are the 62 units we replaced already at Rockview, and the balance will be through these on-site phases. I also included a tax form, how much. So right now we pay no taxes at all. The housing authority pays 0 taxes on this property. So what we're asking for is, based on the city's recommendations, we increased the co-op payment to $450 a unit, and then I show what we generate, which is over 40 years or 39 years, would be $2.8 million. The 22 market rate units will pay full taxes. We get no benefit on those. We're estimating it now. I'm estimating it 6.3 million over 39 years, but that's an estimate based on 4,000 a unit. We don't really know what it would be yet, but probably in that vicinity. And we really need the city's support. It's for this co-op. It's been really difficult. After the pandemic, it kind of got back to smooth pretty quickly once the supply chain got mixed up. But what we're experiencing is twofold. One is still a cost issue. Prices have just gone up for contractors for everything, which makes it difficult to financially put together these deals. The other issue that's really making it difficult for us is interest rates. I don't know if you see McConaughey is under redevelopment now. For those 2 phases of McConaughey, we lost almost $2 million in borrowing power because of interest rates that we had to supplement with MTW money. But that's not a bottomless pit. So having the co-op approve the $450 for the affordable units really helps us to put together our financing plan and get our private funding in place that makes it feasible, doable.
Thank you.
So I just wanna, the 4 million that the city's investing in capital bond funds, because I'm sure that was gonna be a question as well, is the infrastructure. It will be done in the phase 1 for the complete site.
It
Or
will-
are you
It
phasing?
will be, that will be included in the phase. As you can see, the phase 1 will have some infrastructure. That's what we're only putting 1 million of it in phase 1, and we're gonna put the balance of 3 million into the second phase, which has like the big wraparound road that's gonna have bus service, and we got the bus service and extend the line out there. So that's where we're putting more of it in the second phase.
So the city's money's phased with the development.
Madam Co-Chair.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
So, thank you for your presentation. Remind me again, how many total units?
109,
Affordable?
87.
And the remainder of market value?
Market rate, yeah.
Okay. So given that, first of all, thank you for taking into consideration the recommendation of $450 per unit with inflated annual by 50%. That's not reflected upon the order. Is that something that can be done in order for, like an amendment to that order to include that particular language?
It's already in the co-op.
It's in the co-op agreement
I
and
didn't see that.
section B.
Excuse me one second. Don,
It is in the agreement, but it is not in the order.
yes, it's not in the order, correct? Because I didn't read it in the order either.
Yes.
About the 450% increase.
Great. And I know that that's a recommendation from the city. Alicia has not convened just yet, but we will do so. I'm the chair of the Alicia committee. And what we'll do is, we will more likely keep it at 450 with a 3% increase annually. But given the fact that you're already contemplating and incorporating that into the plan, that just gives us an opportunity to say, thank you for working with us and being a community partner. So just for the clarity of the committee, so they're aware. But yeah, I didn't see the order either, and if we can see that in the order, that'd be great, just so that we can have that, right there in case there's any question.
And I'll make sure they're in future orders.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions from committee members?
Yes. When is the date where you will commence construction?
So right now, we're going through our final financing review. We think we're gonna have to use 9% low-income housing tax credit. We're trying to do it with 4%, which we could get at any time. It doesn't provide enough funding. So the deadline would be, for the first phase would be this January. So we will probably commence construction, if we're awarded, which we're really hopeful, we know we have a good score by the end of next year.
Okay. The reason why I ask is, one of the things that we have as a board is, we're always promoting hiring within local, there's construction workers, there's landscape workers, we have, works pipeline, and we have a lot of folks that can solely contribute. And it's one of the things that I have to say, with this major project, if we can help those who are within the city and can collaborate, that would be even huge. So, thank you, Madam Chair.
They are required to do SCD, small business contracting, 12.5 and 12.25. Because they are taking federal funds from us, and they do get a list tax pilot that comes with it.
Thank you for that information.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair.
Any other questions? Alderman Gay.
Thank you again for your presentation. I'm gonna piggyback off the co-chair of the meeting, in reference to, New Haven Works. And I heard the 2/3, right? But we try to be intentional around using that group, around, options and laborers and, whatever that is out there, that we can use that group, on New Haven Works. I don't know if it's, been on your sites or insights or part of your programming, but it would be wonderful to do. If y'all need a number or something, y'all can take this number down. 203-562-8255. 9,000. And they can direct you. So I'm just curious, what are some of the names that y'all throwing around for Westfield,
We
man?
really haven't identified one yet.
Okay.
Alderman Gay, perhaps the alder in that area may be able to assist you with that. So we're gonna leave that.
Yeah, I just asked what was names that was thrown out. I didn't want to name it.
Thank you, Mr. Thank you, Alderman Gay. We don't want to name it tonight.
I was just,
But we do like to remember our history, but modernize it at the same
I
time.
get it. I was just asking what was y'all throwing around.
Really not. I've named the last two without anyone knowing it. I just kind of sneak it through, so. And don't take credit for it, because then I won't be able to.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Any suggestions?
Thank you. Any other questions from the committee? Alderman Gay.
So what is market rate?
So, and I should have said this before, they're not really true market rate. So market rate, and right, when you talk about private developers that go downtown, they get whatever they can. So they do market studies, and we know what some of the rents are downtown. We actually aren't, these, like with the Valley Street that we're just finishing up, we have 8 market rates. They're actually, hold me to this, I think they're $2,100 a month, the market rate in that area, which is actually well below market. So we still price it below market. We're not trying just to get as much as we can from it. So we'll figure that out as we go through the final financing, but we always have it reduced from what the actual market. That's the same one. We're also adding 26 units of market rate. McConaughey, they'll be priced much lower than the actual market. So we call the market, really what I should say is unrestricted. They're not tied to any program.
Yeah, there's no subsidy.
And there's no subsidy, but they'll be priced.
Yeah, it doesn't stop like, if someone has a Section 8 voucher, they could move into a market rate unit.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Vice Chair Douglas.
Thank you, Madam Chair. So, what is the proposed beginning and finish dates? When you propose?
If we get our funding through the 9% low-income housing tax credit round in January, I would say the best case, because it takes a long time to close these tax credits, would be closing in January of 2025 with a 15-month construction for phase 1. We're going to see if we could do the balances of 4% tax credits. We could get it rolling as we start the other one, so they could potentially overlap. So maybe the second phase would be 6 months after the first phase. That's our goal. And it would be, our goal would be the end of the first quarter and then of 26 through the third quarter of 26.
Okay, and my second question is, well, I'll make a comment first. Valley Street, wonderful job. I don't know how you did it just that quick like that. Gets me how fast.
Took years off our life.
Yeah. But, second question would be, for this project, there would be a number of folks coming back. I suppose you have that equation.
Yeah, under HUD rules, this is, again, it's like I throw that term RAD around. That's how we take our current, like, low-income public housing subsidy, and we turn it into a project-based voucher. Through HUD has a special process called RAD. Everyone who's there now, they really have, it's the best of both options for current residents. And the choice is fully theirs. They can take a voucher and transport, or they have the absolute right to come back. They even have the right to come back after they take a voucher, if they change their mind. And that's happened in Valley. So we only thought there were gonna be about 8 people coming back, that out of the 40 units in Valley, there ended up being, I think, 15, something in that area, because people are seeing the development, and it's like.
So have you set that in motion already to find out?
We've already met with the residents, we do, assessments, resident assessments, thank you. Resident assessments. We have our, Glendower has its own relocation team that has 3 staff in it right now. So they do all those resident assessments, they track everybody, they're the ones that move all the people back and forth. We do that in-house, which is really nice because we're not dependent on, another company to do it for us.
Thank you.
And during their relocation, because we're displacing them, we pay for everything.
It's a
No
good
money
point,
comes
thank
out
you.
of the pocket.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Thank you. At this time, I want to acknowledge Majority Leader Alder Furley from Ward 27 joining us. Thank you. Any other questions?
Yes, I have one question. Thank you, Madam Chair. My one question is, out of the 109 units, would you happen to know how many, you said they were all 4 and 5 bedrooms or?
I don't have it memorized, it's all laid out, I didn't bring that chart with me, I apologize. But this plan is already set, it was approved by city plan. So I could get you the number of the bedroom mix, I'm not exactly sure, I wouldn't want to state it wrong. But it's a really good mix of ones, and 2, 3s, and 4s, there's no ones now there. Accessibility, just like McConaughey, is a real difficulty too, so this bigger building has a lot of ones in it and has accessible units in it. But all of the units are visitable and it's a mix of 2, 3, and 4s.
Thank you.
And these are all all townhouse units. Outside of them, they're all townhouse, so they would look like, we're gonna try to do a little more modern look, but something like Rockview or Brookside, that style where everybody's a townhouse, everybody gets their own townhouse.
That's wonderful.
I'm gonna, Mr. Chair, I'm gonna ask you. So you just mentioned accessibility, and you believe the units that have the 1 bedroom may be the accessibility?
Well, there's accessible units mixed throughout, so there's 10% of the 109 are accessible, that's state law, and you have to have a mix of every bedroom size.
Thank you.
But the main building allows every unit to be adaptable, even if it's not accessible, because it has an elevator in it.
Thank you for that clarification. Any other questions? Alderman?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Good evening. Thank you for your presentation. It's exciting to see. 2 questions. What % of the 150 units are currently occupied?
There's 89 units on site. I don't know the occupancy. I'd have to find that out. I would say it's at least 10% vacant. We rent up units pretty quick there, but I wouldn't want to overestimate. Even though it's not in the greatest of condition because of the moisture infiltration, they still are highly sought after units because it's a nice location.
But only 10% are offline at this point?
I think it's less than 10. I can find out.
Just an approximation. I have a second question, Madam Chair. I just want to understand the numbers, please. You say there are 150 units total, and you stated that there were 62 at Rockview 2. Is that 62 included in the 150?
No, so the original Westville Manor was 150 units. I think one was taken offline for Solar Youth. So this is where we get the kind of 149 from HUD's eyes. Of the 149, 62 have already been rebuilt over at Rockview Phase 2. So that's the units in red here. Those residents have been relocated to Rockview 2 down the road. So it leaves a balance of 87.
Let me get to my actual real question, my guess behind it. Are we seeing 1-for-1 replacement?
Yes.
With just a question, with the 87 sort of currently at Westville being replaced with 87 rads?
Right.
Thank you. I'm always pleased to see 1-for-1 replacement. Thank you very much for that hard work to make that happen.
Any questions? Okay.
You have a question, Madam Chair?
I do not, Mr. Chair.
Well, wonderful presentation.
Yes,
Thank you for the work that you're doing. Definitely will let the community know once I receive an opportunity to Lishna and what the decision is. But definitely, again, I'd like to stress the incorporation of the chain of the order to have the 450 with the 3% increase annually.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you.
Thank
for
you
your
all for your
support.
presentation.
Thank you for your
Thank you.
support. I'm there for you.
Is there anyone from the public that wishes to speak on this item?
Do you have anybody else online or anything? Or this moment?
For a second time, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item? And for a third time, is there anyone from the public wishing to speak on this item?
I move the public portion.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Public portion is now closed.
discussion.
I make a move, I move item 1.
Second,
The item has been moved and seconded.
pardon me, Madam Chair, I withdraw my second. I'll entertain another second from the committee members.
Second.
The item has been moved and seconded. Discussion.
Madam Chair, I think this is a great project. I mean, the things that are going to be brought in, 150 units, the affordability, the interest of considering what the city has done in the past of incorporating the 450 prior to us having to negotiate here on this body, along with thinking about the local hiring, of our residents and local small businesses. That's something that's huge. That is what our legislative agenda is about. And I will be in complete favor of this. And then I will also let the committee know once we receive the decision of the legislature. Tiffany?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Alderman Gay.
Thank you. I also think this is a great one, right? Affordable housing, affordability. You gotta have a balance, so the 22, market rates, I get it, right? I wish they all was affordable, right? And it looks really, really, really good, driving up there now. It looks like it's a wonderful project. And, you know that we've been doing a lot of these projects and we stepped it up with the 450, right? And they stepping up to the plate with that. I don't want to get in trouble, but I don't know her official title, but Kathy Schroeder has been really a good partner with this whole thing and driving us in the right direction. So I'm in total support of this particular item.
Thank you, Alderman Gay. Any other comments from our? Okay. So at this time, I make a motion. Oh, no. All those in favor? Sorry.
Aye.
Okay.
Any opposed?
Any abstentions? The ayes have it.
Madam Chair, I move that we adjourn.
Second.
Okay, the item has been moved in second. No discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Abstentions?
Look at my adjournment.
This is an interesting night. Ron,